Welcome back to the channel. This is Let's Be Real Brad. I talk about movies, TV shows, and do all sorts of fun and exciting videos on the channel. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on this video, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new fun and exciting video. Today, we are going to be doing my favorite movies from each genre. This was a challenge that I accepted from Sean Jackson at Lost in the Reel. He is one of the best YouTubers on the film community. I will leave a link to his channel down below in the description box. So without further ado, let's dive right into this one, starting in the action genre. My pick for the action genre is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Some of you may not know, but Terminator 2 Judgment Day is my favorite movie of all time. This is a movie that really got me into movies, just seeing the sheer nature of how much they could use with production design, practical effects, and the visionary work of James Cameron for the visual effects, having an amazing story, great and memorable characters, and such fantastic action that is considered one of the best action movies of all time for a reason. And the next category is the adventure genre, with my pick being Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. This is one of my favorite movies of all time that I have seen countless times growing up, but something about Raiders of the Lost Ark has always stood out to me, especially with its homage to those serial action films, and also being just so over the top, silly, and just being so much fun. There's just so much about Indiana Jones that's always stood out to me, and it still holds up to this day, and that's why I had to pick this movie. Next up, we will be doing the animation genre with the film that I picked, Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 is my second favorite film of all time, and it's a movie that I've seen countless times. And I think the reason for this is because I watched it all the time as a kid, but something about it has always stuck with me, that I always felt like it did a little bit more than that first film. And I really love the animation in this movie. I really love the story, and I love how it's really centered on Sheriff Woody, as he is one of my favorite characters ever, so maybe I have a little bit more of a bias to it. I still think the movie is hilarious, extremely fast-paced, and I think it's great for everybody, not just being a typical kids movie. Up next, we have the comedy genre, and I picked a very interesting film for this that I'm going to explain after I show it, which is Pulp Fiction. Now, you might be thinking, Pulp Fiction isn't really a comedy movie, and I would disagree with you. It is a neo-noir black comedy crime film. I really think it's because I have somewhat of a dark sense of humor, but I also like that films can take very dark and sensitive ideas and really make it hilarious with a little bit of satire and a little bit of just creativeness with this type of genre, and Pulp Fiction is no exception here. In the next genre, we are going to be doing the comic book genre, and I'm going to be picking Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is my third favorite film of all time. I know that movie on the back of my hand. With this movie, I can watch this every single time and just be so excited, just being so thrilled. I think this is because it has such a well-told story with great acting, great, awesome visual effects that still hold up to this day, and it really feels like we dove into Peter Parker as a person. This is a movie I will be so excited anytime I get the chance to watch it. The next genre is the drama genre, and I had a little bit of a hard time with this, as so many of the best films of all time are dramas, but this one in particular I watched last year, and it's just stuck with me ever since, and that is 12 Angry Men. 12 Angry Men is a film that is just so revolutionary. I mean, you have all these men in a room just talking the whole movie, but you really get a sense of who these characters are in particular. Even though none of them have names, they're just Juror 1, Juror 2, Juror 3, and you really learn about the history of that time in such a fantastic and well-constructed way. The movie is never boring. It always feels like you're on the edge of your seat, and there's so many memorable moments that just leave you just wanting more as the film goes along. This is a film that seriously holds up today and is one of the greatest films of all time. In the next genre, we will be doing the horror genre, and that is Nightmare on Elm Street 1984. I am a massive Nightmare on Elm Street fan, as I just have the collection of all the films that I have seen. A Nightmare on Elm Street 1984 is a movie that really struck me as being a fantastic horror film. It isn't a film that I think is one of the best horror films of all time, as it does have its issues and it has aged, but this is a movie that got me into the horror genre and realizing what you could do with it and how it could legitimately scare audiences and being so creative and fun and scary for its time. I really do try to watch this movie every single Halloween because it is an absolute favorite when I think of the Halloween season. Next up, we have the romance genre, and this is the film that I watched for the first time last year during the lockdown, and that is The Apartment. Now, I did pick up The Apartment on Blu-ray from Arrow Video this past Sunday while I was putting my list together because I realized I didn't have the movie. What I love so much about this film is that it really holds up to today's standards. You give this movie the best cameras possible, make it in color, and it's legitimately the same movie. There's so much about this film that really struck to me, and it also has one of the most natural and organic romances I think I've ever seen in a film. The movie also has fantastic performances from Jack Lemmon, and it is absolutely hilarious. So if you've never seen The Apartment and you want to watch a black and white movie, this is the movie to watch. Next up is the science fiction category, and we are going to be doing Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. I just can't get enough of this movie. Every single time I watch it, I'm always finding something new. And this is a movie where I really got into the blockbuster genre and seeing what you could do with practical and special effects and just having really great and memorable characters. I pretty much know this movie on the back of my hand, just like all these other movies. And it's much better when you're an adult because there's a lot more hidden details within the script that you don't necessarily pick up on the first few times that you watch it. Now, the last genre is the Western genre. And I will admit, I have not seen a lot of Westerns, but this is a pick that I think a lot of people will pick, but it is the good, the bad, and the ugly. The reason why is because this was the first Western that I picked up because it had so much hype behind it. It's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, and so then when I watched it, it really lived to that hype, and everything that I thought about a Western going into my first Western film was all in this movie. This movie has been parodied, cliched, and just been copied so many times because this is the landmark of a Western. This movie is just an absolute blast to watch. So if you haven't really been dabbling in the Western genre, the good and the bad, the ugly is the first place to start because that is where I went, and I absolutely want to watch more films in the Western genre. So those are all my favorite films from each genre, and I hope you really enjoyed this video. Let me know down below in the comments section, what are your favorite films from each of the genres I listed? I would love to hear all your responses. So before I go, I will be challenging 7 YouTubers in the movie community to do this challenge. You guys are not obliged to do this. You guys can do this on your own time, and if you have been challenged before, you don't have to accept my challenge. But I'm going to start off with Jared from Jared Talks Cinema. He is a fantastic YouTuber. He really offers some great insight into these films, and him and I really have a lot of the same similarities. So if you guys agree with a lot of my takes, definitely go check him out because I actually think he's a lot funnier than me. So if you want that kind of content, go check out his channel and hit that subscribe button. The next YouTuber is Zach from Zach Gawler. He is a fantastic YouTuber and definitely deserves way more subscribers. He is hilarious, he is super over the top, and he just brings that sort of energy that you expect to see in a movie review. Next up is Trace from Pierce Productions. He is a smaller YouTuber that really has a lot of great content on his channel, always doing something different with doing some movie news, some movie reviews, and he's just one of the nicest guys that I have met in this community. I actually did an interview with him on his channel that I will link down below if you want to check it out if you haven't seen it already. So be sure to check out his channel. The next one is Chubbs Reviews. He does a lot of video game reviews, movie reviews, comic book movie reviews. He is a really entertaining watch, and he really does offer a lot of details and even sometimes adds a little bit of spoilers to add some context. So if you really enjoy all those three topics, definitely check out his channel. Next one up is Cinema Critics Reviews. He is such a great guy who really goes in depth on these movies, and I think you guys should definitely go check out his channel. The next one up is Rio from Rio's Positive POV. He is a very in-depth, awesome YouTuber. This guy really knows his film content. The way he describes movies is definitely something that I have definitely took into consideration when even doing my own reviews, and I think you guys should definitely check out his channel. The next one up is Kevin and Carlos from Screen Kings. They are from the Philippines, and they offer so many different kinds of movie reviews. A lot of their movie reviews are pretty long, so if you want to sit back and listen to their thoughts and breaking down each movie, they are the go-tos. But they also offer a lot of different movie reviews from films all across the globe that I really haven't heard of, and they always add to my watch list, always offer some different perspectives on it. So I appreciate everyone who stuck around to subscribe and check out all these other YouTubers, and I hope you guys who do get picked do an awesome list, and I'm really excited to see what you guys pick in your videos. As always, I will see you all in the following video.